Hello, class. So today we're going to be talking about post-World War II America and the entrepreneurs within it. And my subject that I decided to choose is kind of unique on the fact that I realize that most of the other entrepreneurs and everything still remain the same. One that was an up-and-coming, kind of a unique surprise was this gentleman by the name of Howard Hughes. As you can see in my back here, it's not surprising that I would choose him with all the books I have dealing with World War II aircraft and all that. Definite fascination. But when you think of Howard Hughes was a very unique individual. He actually his gained his fortunes from his father, who had been in the oil business. He created a bit, one of the early bits that was actually used for drilling for oil. He patented it, and that's where he ended up making his fortune. His son then took that fortune, went into the movie making business, actually filmed a few different films that were all based around aircraft. He had such a fascination with aircraft that it became a major point to everything that you see concerning him, except for one thing. But when you look at Howard Hughes actually was one who actually broke speed records with some of his experimental aircraft that he made as we were coming from between World War One and World War Two. And then as we get into World War Two, he ends up being contacted for a couple of different projects, one of which is actually very well known because it's the largest aircraft of the time, and it was called the Spruce Goose, is the H-4, which was designed to actually carry troop supplies from the United States to England to avoid the wolf packs that were plaguing the Atlantic. He also was to turn around after the war. He worked on creating spy planes and that and reconnaissance aircraft. One of which was he ended up having his accident in, which he ends up becoming hooked on morphine and develops the phobia of germs. He then turns around and that becomes a whole different thing. He then turns around, he gets into his electronic company, develops the electronics that were actually used to create the first guided missile. So he actually had the first air to air guided missile that was through his electronics company. He also was a part of a CIA operation, and it involved recovering a Russian sub. It was called the Azorian, I believe it was the name of it. And the mission itself was actually to go retrieve a submarine that sunk about 1,500 miles out from Hawaii and is about down 16,500 feet. He ends up this ship he creates is called the Glomar Explorer, and the Glomar Explorer actually has a opening in the bottom of the ship, and it has a giant lift crane contraption that he designed that actually went down, grabbed a hold of the sub, and then lifted it up from the seabed all the way back up to the ship. Now, of course, when it came out and the Russians found out about it, the report was that the sub broke, but the reports show that the military and CIA did gain a lot of pertinent information from that submarine, which had been a nuclear capable and had been carrying nuclear missiles on board. Of course, when the news released the information and everything came out, the Glomar Explorer went into retirement. Pretty much, and then of course Howard Hughes would then end up dying later on due to the issues that came with his phobia.